Shalom. All praises go to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahashai, Ba'ashem the Wakodash, that belong us unto the elder apostles at Great Millstone, for the teachings of the scriptures among other things. Shalom to the sincere Akim across the world. Now this is the book of Exodus chapter 12, verse 43, concerning the strangers that lack inheritance. They can only be Israelites because those are the ones that are mentioned in the New Testament also, that have been said to be like Hellenists and stuff like that. Those are Israelite foreigners because you cannot inherit land in Israel if you are not an Israelite. And it explains, I'm going to explain it here. Exodus chapter 12, verse 43. And Yahweh said unto Moses and Aaron, this is the ordinance of the Passover. There shall no stranger eat thereof. But every man's servant that is bought for money, when thou hast circumcised him, then shall he eat thereof. A foreigner and a hired servant shall not eat thereof. In one house shall it be eaten. So in one house shall it be eaten. So are you allowed to have a big feast there, come together with different brothers of different households, and then you do it in another household or something like that? Yeah, you can do that. As you can see here, the first Esdras, it was a big feast, and they had like 2,600 sheep, 200 calves. So this clearly is not for one house. It's clearly for different houses and stuff like that, multiple houses. But the priest did that, and yeah, they did it like, for example, maybe a group was here, they did it together, and then other groups, for example, if you don't have a wife and children, just an example, and then that other house over there, they did it separately, but they got the meat from the Levites that did it there, and the bread and all that type of stuff, right, going on. In one house shall it be eaten. Thou shalt not carry forth out of the flesh abroad out of the house, out of the flesh, out of the flesh, out of the house. Neither shall ye break a bone thereof. Right, for example, you had houses like this. This is just an example. You had one house here, one house there, one house there. Just for example's sake, it could be, they all pertain unto each other. It could be one person, and then he has his place, then his wife, for just in case, not just in case, there's 100% that she will have her period, so she's separated for 7 days. Or she might be here, and here is your son or your daughter, or maybe both, I don't know. Just an example, but these are 3 individual houses, just for example. You are not allowed to bring it here, from here to here, or from here to here, or vice versa. All the congregation of Israel shall keep it. And by the way, I'm going to come back to this and try to explain other things concerning this also. All the congregation of Israel shall keep it. Now here it comes. And when a stranger shall sojourn with thee, and will keep the Passover of the Lord, let all his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and keep it. And he shall be as one that is born in the land, for no uncircumcised person shall eat thereof. So it says here, no stranger shall eat thereof, but it says the ... Then it goes into the manservant that is bought for money. And when thou hast circumcised him that is bought for money, then he shall eat thereof. Okay, that's that part. So it goes further, this sentence. But anyway, so it says here, there shall not a stranger eat thereof. But here it says that a stranger shall eat thereof. So what is that? Now if you go to the book of Exodus, in the Strong's, the Blue Letter Bible, it says here, Exodus chapter 12, verse 43. And Yahweh said unto Moses and Aaron, this is the ordinance of the Passover. There shall no stranger eat thereof. So here is the word ban, which means son. Hebrew 11:21. And here comes the word nakar, which is Hebrew 52:36. Hebrew 52:36 here. Nakar, it says foreigner, alien, foreigners, and stuff like that. Basically someone of another nation, right? So that's the first word, stranger, here. It's actually 2 words. It says son of a stranger. which is the heathen nations. It's just them. Because, nations are, for example, the land of Canaan. The land of Canaan were the Canaanites, but they were the sons of Canaan. That is what it was. And Mizraim, the land of Mizraim, those were the sons of Mizraim. Mizraim was already gone. He was already dead. Canaan was already dead too. Let me see. Aram, the land of Aram, he was already dead, but his children were there, the descendants. Ashur, he was already dead, but the land of Ashur, which is the land of the Assyrians, were there. The Assyrians, they were there. So yeah, those are the sons of a stranger. Those are the sons of strangers and stuff like that. Okay, so now it says here, now this stranger is allowed to eat. So this stranger is not allowed to eat, but this stranger is allowed to eat. I'll get back to this one concerning the strangers. Now this stranger is allowed to eat. On what stranger is this? Hebrews 16:16, which is God. Hebrews 16:16, which is the name of Moses, his son. Well, the first letters of Moses, his son, which is Garsham. Right. The first three letters, the first two. What is it called again? It's not letters. It's called symbols or something like that. Characters. The first two characters. Okay. So it says here, sojourner, somebody that is a temporary resident, like temporary occupier. He just comes here, occupant, like how you occupy a house that you have not bought, and once that time comes, the contract is over, or you move, something like that, and then somebody else comes in the place. But anyway, that's a sojourner. It's just a traveler, basically, that stays for a while. Okay, so it says here, a temporary inhabitant. Yeah, we already read that. Yes. A newcomer lacking inherited rights, of foreigners in Israel, though conceded rights. So I looked up the word conceded. It goes into yield up. To make concession of, yield up, give way, yield, go away, depart, retire. That type of stuff. And who are those? Well, to the scriptures, like in the book of Numbers, chapter 27, and Numbers chapter 36, you can see that only an Israelite can lack inheritance rights, something that you inherit, which is of the land. Well, for example, here, Numbers 27 and 1. Then came the daughters of Zelophehad, the son of Hepher, the son of Gilead, which is a man, but there's also a place called Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh. So they were of the Manassites, of the families of Manasseh, of the sons of Joseph. And these are the names of his daughter, Mala, Noah, Hoglah, and Milcah, and Tirzah. And they stood before Moses and before Eleazar the priest, and before the princes of all the congregation, by the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, saying, the door of the tabernacle of the congregation is the tent where the Ark of the Covenant was in. Exodus chapter 33 explains that. Our father died in the wilderness, and he was not in the company of them that gathered themselves together against Yahweh in the company of Korah, but died in his own sin, and had no sons. So he had no sons, okay? But he had daughters, right? So this also teaches you that if you have no sons, basically you have no legacy. But anyway, why should the name of our father be done away from among his brethren, from among his family? See, if you don't have sons, then that is what's going to happen to your family name, your name from among your family, because he had no son. Give unto us therefore a possession among the brethren of our father, which are his uncles, which are their uncles. And Moses brought their cause before Yahweh. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, the daughters of Zelophehad speak right. Thou shalt surely give them a possession of the inheritance among their father's brethren, which is their uncles. And thou shalt cause the inheritance speaking this thing, lack an inheritance. Remember that? A newcomer lack an inheritance, that is a gar. And a gar can then therefore only be an Israelite, because it's going to explain here. Inheritance of their father to pass on to them. That portion of land, for example, or his substance, the things that he had when he was alive, you know, his will and stuff like that. And thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel, saying, if a man die and have no son, then ye shall cause his inheritance to pass unto his daughter. And if he had no daughter, then ye shall give his inheritance unto his brethren. And if he had no brethren, then ye shall give his inheritance unto his father's brethren, so his uncles. And if his father had no brethren, then ye shall give his inheritance unto his kinsman that is next to him of his family. So if his father was also an only child and he was an only child, then you get, and so his father doesn't have, okay, then you give it to his grandfather. And if your grandfather also is an only child, and then you give it to his grandfather and his brother. So his grandfather's brother, and then you give it to them, and to his grandfather's brother's children. You give it to them then, right? And he shall possess it. And it's same thing with Ruth. If you read the book of Ruth, that's what happened. That's what happened. It went like that. So that kind of way. You can read it for yourself. It will explain better. And it shall be unto the children of Israel a statute of judgment, as Yahweh commanded. Okay, so that's that part. So now going to the book of Numbers 36 and 1. Okay, it's talking about Zelophehad and stuff. I don't have to read that. Okay, verse 3. Numbers 27 and 3. And if they be married to any of the sons of the other tribes of the children of Israel, it's talking about the daughters. Let me see. Unto his daughters, okay. Right. It's talking about all the daughters that you read in 27 here, these ones. And if they, the daughters, be married to any of the sons of the other tribes outside of Manasseh, of the children of Israel, then shall the inheritance be taken from the inheritance of our father. Right, because it would be then therefore like, where is here Manasseh? Let's say Manasseh, right? Whether it be east or west, doesn't matter. Let's say here Westman. You know what? I'll give this one as a better example because it's kind of, it's not confusing, but it's many other tribes in the midst of them. So I'll just keep it here because it's very simple. It's just one, and then Judah is two. So it's just basically this one, these two. So if the children, let's say this is Manasseh, or I just say this is Simeon. So Simeon has only one Simeon family has only daughters. The father died, and then Judah is a man, right? This for example, and then the man Judah wants to come and marry one of the daughters of the Simeonite man that died. Okay, so you see that? Oh shit! Damn it. What I want to do is wait. Okay, the example, right? So, for example, if you then therefore have here, okay, so this is the border, right? Okay, this is the border. Then if you have a Judite that lives here, and then you have the Simeonite family, the Simeon family live here, Simeonite family live here, then if the Judite come and marry their daughter, then he is allowed to take this little part of land because now he's the man and he will take their inheritance, right? That is what is going to happen, because the man will come in their family and then inherit the inheritance of their father, because he will be with them and then the man will take it over, right? So that's what they explain in here. So it says here, if the Manassite daughters be married to any of the sons of the other tribes of the children of Israel, then shall their inheritance be taken from the inheritance of our father, which is Manasseh. That's what it is. Our fathers, going back to Manasseh. And shall be put to the inheritance of the tribe whereunto they are received. Right. Because the woman receives seed from another man. So if one of the women of Manasseh had a Simeon father, or a Naphtali father, or Issachar father, then the children that would then be brought forth out of that Manasseh womb, the woman that has the womb, those children will be Issachar, because an Issachar man came and slept with a Manassite woman, and the children that are coming out are 100% Issachar. 100%. It doesn't exist that there's two seed. Doesn't exist. It's 100% Issachar children made with the womb of a Manassite woman. Okay. So shall it be taken from the lot of our inheritance. Okay, so the word inheritance again. And when the jubilee of the children of Israel shall be, then shall their inheritance be put unto the inheritance of the tribe whereunto they are received. So shall the inheritance be taken away from the inheritance of the tribe of our fathers. Yeah, because or else you would be able to do this. You take this, and then the year of Jubilee, and then it belongs to them now, Judah. And then another family might live right next to them, right? For example, just an example. And then you take their parch of land. And then another Judite will come and have, just an example, will hear, which all three little things that I just made there are just examples of men that died and only left daughters, right? So these three parches of land will then belong now to Judah. Before you know it, they will have a whole piece of land. Let's say really everybody within this half circle here, all of them have only daughters, and they died. Just an example. Let's say a war happened or something, and all the men went to war, and they only had daughters left, all of them. Then this parcel of land will eventually become of Judah, and that will then, they would then take this, and then they would be able to take everything. Then, that's what they was explaining there, right? And Moses commanded the children of Israel, Numbers chapter 36, verse 5, according to the word of Yahweh, saying, the tribes of the sons of Joseph had said well, because now the issue came to the men. It became to the princes and stuff like that, the chief, and not only the daughters of Zelophehad. It was a whole big issue. It became a whole big issue. That's why this whole chapter is dedicated onto that same thing that was just mentioned in the book of Numbers chapter 27. This is the thing which Yahweh doth command concerning the daughters of Zelophehad, saying, let them marry to whom they think best. Only of the family of the tribe of their father shall they marry. So this is the case. If a man and a woman have only daughters, right? Those daughters are, let's say they have 55 daughters. It doesn't matter. If 5 daughters, 3 daughters, 5. In this case, it was 5, if I'm correct. Let me see something. You know what? I don't even want to. I'll do it anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There was 5. 5 daughters, right? Okay. In this case, 5 daughters. So all those 5 daughters are only allowed to marry Manasseh. They're only allowed to marry Manassites. They are not allowed to marry a Judite or whatever tribe, or an Issacharite, or a Naphthalite, or it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Danite, Benjamite, Ephraimite, Gadite, Reubenite. It doesn't matter. Zebulon, Asher. It doesn't matter. They are only allowed to marry within their own father's tribe, so that their forefather Manasseh, that got the land through the inheritance of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, through the lot of Joshua, and he got the land, and that's their portion of land. Can no other Israelite take it? I'm going to read on. Oh, okay, right? so shall not the inheritance of the children of Israel remove from tribe to tribe. For every one of the children of Israel shall keep himself to the inheritance of the tribes of his fathers. But it goes back to the individual man that got that land. Well, that land was named after him. I should say it like that, because those original ones was already gone and deceased. I'm talking about their descendants, because they was already gone. I mean, like, we stayed 400 years in Israel. Mizraim. So the original ones was gone already, which was mentioned in the book of Exodus chapter 2. So yeah, but still, their inheritance, what they have gotten from the Lord since the book of Genesis chapter 17 through Abraham, right? That's their inheritance. Through their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, it belongs to them and their children after them. So that was my point concerning that. And every daughter, whether it be Manasseh, whether it be Issachar, whether it be Naphtali, whether it be any of the tribes of Israel, any daughter that possesses an inheritance in any tribe of the children of Israel, so it doesn't matter which tribe, so that's why I gave the example, shall be wife unto one family, one of the family of the tribe of her father. She is not allowed to, let's say you meet a girl from Simeon, and she has a man is from Reuben, and they really like each other. If she is the only daughter and she has no sons, go too bad. You can't do that. You can't, because you're gonna take land eventually, and then Reuben will come here and then basically steal a part of land from them, because or it might be here, it might be in the middle, I don't know, steal this part of land. Well, it's not stealing, but you're going to take it because the inheritance is going to belong to the man, because it's his children shall be brought forth into the land of Simeon, if he chooses to stay there. Now, if he brings her there to Reuben, I wouldn't think that's a problem, but still, the inheritance that belongs to her, let's say she gets substances, like things like, for example, in this day and age, just an example, you get a brand new TV, iPhone, I wanted to say iPad, sorry. She has a house or whatever left over by her father. Well, yeah, you can't get that. And if she chooses to leave into the land of Reuben, then the house that was given unto her is supposed to be given unto her father's brother. And if her father is an only child, then it's given unto her father's brother, or her father's brother, which is her uncle, father, grandfather, brother. Yeah, right. And if he is an only child, well, then she gives that house or land to her father's father, his father. So her grandfather, his father, and so forth. You can figure it out for yourself, how it trickles down to where the father is and where the brothers are, and the cousins and stuff like that. So it goes through that right there. So yeah, why should that be done? Shall be wife unto one of the family of the tribes of her father. Why should that be done? This is the reason, that the children of Israel may enjoy every man the inheritance of his father, which is your forefather coming off the 12 sons of Jacob. 2 sons of Jacob were actually grandsons. They are still sons of Jacob, because it's his seed, which is Ephraim and Manasseh, right? Which were his grandsons, right? But they're still counted as the sons of Israel. Yeah. 9. Neither shall the inheritance remove from one tribe to another tribe. It is not allowed. The inheritance, once more again. Right? But every one of the tribes of the children of Israel shall keep himself to his own inheritance. So stick to your own. Don't be taking stuff from another. Okay, so now that you understand it, you can read the rest for yourself if you have the time. Let's see here. were married unto their father's brother's son. You are allowed to actually marry your cousin according to the law of the Lord. Nowadays in 2025, especially in America, it's looked down upon. You're not going to do it. In certain parts of South America, they do it. In certain parts of West Africa, they do it. In certain parts of the Arabian people, they do it. Ishmael, they do it. And but Esau does it incest-like. That's why you had them in the royal houses of the Edomites. That's why you have some of them with them. You know, they look down and they look Asiatic. You have Elon Musk, he's one, and then you have one of the princes of the royal house here in the Netherlands. That's another one. That one is borderline Down syndrome. And Elon Musk also. Which one is this? This one. Yeah, see? Borderline. Got lucky. Got lucky she didn't turn out like the full-blown one. Let me see the youngest princess of Dutch. Yeah, you can see it. Princess of Dutch. You see those eyes. Anyway, you can figure it out for yourself. I forgot her name. I always forget their name. Oh, here is it. Okay, cool. When I'm young. You can see the shape of the head too. You know, you can look at them and be like, oh shit, oh, you're lucky. That's borderline. And then you have, what's the other one again? This one here, see? You got the eyes. This is the normal looking one. This is almost goofed up too. You know, that's a fault, and you can see it here. Yeah, I did a video on this guy too, and especially this particular video. They set him up. They arranged for him to be this famous dude because he had the supercar and stuff like that, and nobody knew him at that time. He was just put on CNN just for no reason whatsoever, nothing whatsoever. He was just a guy that had a very expensive car and whatever, man. Anyway, so he's a borderline one. Look at his eyes, and then you see here in the Dutch word, here, the Dutch word for Mongol, for Down syndrome person, it's Mongol, and it's also the people of Mongolia. So now you know how Dutch people call them. Here it says a tough Down syndrome person. That's what it says right here. Tough, like a tough guy. You can see the eyes, and you can see the eyes here. But I did a video about that, so I'm not going to talk about that right now. So right, so so the elites of these lands, the Edomites, they do incest, which is close. But the Israelites are allowed to have children with your father's brother. That is allowed. It's by law actually allowed. It's supposed to be like that by law. The book of Tobit shows you that. Tobit 7:13. Then he called his daughter Sarah, and she came to her father. No, wait a minute. Oh yeah. And he took her by the hand and gave her to be wife to Tobias, saying, behold, take her how? After the law of Moses, and lead her away to thy father. See, then you take her to your father. That's how the Israelites used to actually be. They used to, you have different customs. Some leave their father and their mother to cleave onto their wife, but others, They took the woman and went to go live with their father and their mother, and then live with them until they die, and then they take over the house and stuff like that. Anyway, and he blessed them, and it says here, Raguel shall be guilty of sin of death. If he give, look, it says it right here, Tobit 6:10. The angel said unto the young man, brother, today we shall lodge with Raguel, who is thy cousin, right? So they're family, right? He also had one only daughter, so Raguel is his cousin, right? And he had a daughter named Sarah. I will speak for her, that she may be given thee for a wife. That's family. And then let me see something. For to thee doth the right of her appertain, the right of Moses' law, seeing thou only art of her kindred. And let me see here. And the maid is fair and wise. This has nothing to do with her skin color. Now therefore, hear me, and I will speak to her father. And when we return from Ragas, which is a place, we will celebrate the marriage, the union of you and her. For I know that Raguel cannot marry her to another. Why? According to the law of Moses, he's not allowed. Raguel knows better. But he shall be guilty of death. He should be put to death if he does that, because there's no other person left but you as an Israelite. She's not allowed to go to another nation. She's not allowed. Anyway, going on. But he shall be guilty of death. Why? Because the right of inheritance, she is your inheritance. He that beginneth to what? Yet? He that beginneth to wife. Oh shit. Wow. Sirach 36:24, Ecclesiasticus, which is aka Sirach. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, an inheritance, that's mine. A help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest, something that you lean on, not a pillar of stress, which is what the majority of the women are now today. Nowadays, nowadays and today, I wanted to say at the same time. But yeah, so that's your possession. That is your inheritance. She is your inheritance. And it doesn't mean that when you say, when I say jump, she says how high. No, you treat her like you would treat yourself, which is lovingly. And you honor your wife, and she respects you. You know, she references you. A lot of Arab females, for example, if you go like a door-to-door salesman, you have these Edomites that want to talk to the women because you can swindle them in buying stuff that they don't need. You know, the pillow sellers always do that nonsense. But she will open the door and say, "But my husband is not here." So, yeah, but I want to talk to you. The door closed. Or if you call with the calling thing at the door, "No, my husband is not here." That's it. You can't talk to her. Or she will call her the son, the firstborn son. She will call him. Go talk to the guy. They still have it until this day, you know. But the longer they live in the midst of Esau, the more they are. And you have divorced. I'm not kidding you. You have. I've seen Muslim females divorced. They're divorced. I'm like, wow. And they're still walking around with this thing with children. I know exactly one is coming in my head right now that lives exactly here in the neighborhood that I live in. She's walking around with this respectfully, yeah. You know, she doesn't. I have never seen her with another man after that. But I don't know what she's doing. I don't know. Maybe she goes to the guy's house. I don't know, because they have the freedom to have car. She doesn't have a car, by the way. I always see her with the metro. With the metro. So, you know, but they can take the metro to go there. I mean, like, back in the days, it would take you a few days for you to get to from one village to another. Now, you have a village that is like another village, a town actually, that is an hour away from us, and that's a very metropolis town. You know, an hour with the train. And with the car is also an hour, you know, but still, if you had to walk that distance, yeah, it would take you a very long time, like a few hours, like maybe a half a day or a day. I don't know. It depends on how you walk. It depends on the weather too, because if it's wintertime, I don't think you're gonna. You know what? You can figure it out for yourself. I mean, you can imagine it for yourself, not figure it out. Sorry, I use that word too often. You can imagine it for yourself. In the wintertime, it would go different than it would be in the summertime or spring, autumn. It doesn't matter, you know, stuff like that. But he would be guilty of death. So back in the days, we used to have cousins, and then we made families with them. And yeah, stick to your own tribe. You know, it would be like that. But yeah, okay. So now concerning here, so when it goes to here, a newcomer lacking inherited rights. You cannot have inherited rights if you are not an Israelite, because it shows you right there that among the Israelites, yeah, you are not allowed to inherit nothing, from nobody. So the ones that lack inherited rights of the Israelites that come into the land, they are Israelites. It cannot be anything else, because it explicitly explains to you that you cannot be of another tribe. If another tribe cannot even steal from another tribe, well, whether he's stealing intentionally, or whether he's just, I just want to be with your daughter. It doesn't matter. What you're doing is you're taking possession, which your wife is your possession, and the land is the possession of the man. And then therefore, if you come and she possesses these things, these goods, and you come in her life, so now you possess her and her things. Nah, you can't do that. She needs to give those things away. If she wants another tribe, she needs to give those things away to her father's brother, or her father's father, which is her grandfather, his brothers, or his other children, you know, if he has them. And if he has not, then he has a father 100%, or else he would not exist. And then you go to his father, and if his father is also only child, then guess what? Then you go to his father, and you keep on going until you find a bloodline of that same father, of that same tribe, that all come from one man, and that man is named Manasseh in this case. Whether it be, you know, from any other tribe, Simeon, Reuben, Gad, and Naphtali, and Issachar, Zebulun, Asher, stuff like that. Okay, so that's that part. So when it says here, for example, the book of Romans chapter 9, verse 24, even us, whom he hath called, the Heavenly Father called through the Lord Yahushua, not of the Jews only, but also of the Gentiles. So they're called too? Question mark. And then the answer is, as he, the Heavenly Father, saith also in Osee. What is Osee? Osee is Hosea. That's Hosea. It comes from Hosea, also known as Oz in the Greek. And this is, the New Testament is translated from the Greek into the English. The Old Testament is translated from the Hebrew into the English. You do have the New Testament also translated from the Hebrew into the English, but that's not the one that they publicly push out. And second, it's good because the confusion is here to destroy the ones that are to be attracted by the confusion. What I mean with that is that you have a lot of Israelites that love the heathen nations for them to come in. It doesn't matter what happens to them. They want the heathen nations to have an inheritance in the parch of land that was given unto the 12 sons, and the 12 sons only. They really want to share. I'm not sharing, and neither does the Lord want to share. He doesn't want that. So you're not getting it. So you're going to be destroyed for teaching those things, along with the heathen nations that you want to bring in. And some of them might even have more mercy than your dumbass. But anyway, so it says here, Romans chapter 9, verse 25. Speaking of this verse, as he saith also in Hosea, speaking of this verse, I will call them my people, which were not my people, and her beloved, which was not beloved. Who this talking about? Well, it's talking about the Gentiles that are Israelite foreigners lacking inheritance of the land, in the land. And who are they? Well, here it says, Hosea chapter 1 verse 10, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, of the seashore, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people. So, in the places where we were slaves, they said, oh, you niggers, you're not the people of God, nigger. And you have in the Netherlands the word nigger, which is nigger. And by the way, black is nigger too. They just call you black. The word black is nigger. Nigger wasn't a cuss word. They made it into one. I can call you white in the Dutch, and I'm gonna offend you. I can do that with the word wit. Yeah, they don't like that. Even niggas, jakes. You know, when you say it among them, they feel pain. But amongst themselves, they call themselves zwarte, like blackie. But they don't feel the pain there. Why? Because they are immune toward their own shit, like their own not shit. I mean, like their own attack. But when you attack another nation in front of them, then they feel offended because they have this large heart toward heathen nations, but not toward themselves, like a defending spirit. You know, that's why they don't cuss them out for their skin color, but they will cuss each other. Oh, you black nigga! Oh, you tar looking ass nigga! Even though they know the truth. So you know, you'd be looking at them like, huh. It don't make no sense. But anyway, it's their own thing. So I just know that Israelites have painful words for other heathen nations, but not for themselves, because they don't feel themselves like that. But anyway, ye are not my people. But like I said, nigger is actually not a cuss word. It didn't start out like that, but it is one right now. So anyway, going on. Ye are not my people. There shall it be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living power. So in the land in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not the people of the Lord, you're just a bunch of black niggers, you're a bunch of black people, whatever. There shall it be said, oh my goodness, these are the sons of the Heavenly Father. I never knew. Right. So this is what it was mentioned here in the book of Romans chapter 9, when it said, verse 26 here, when it says the Gentiles and the Jews. These Gentiles are talking about these Israelites that were called not the people of the Lord. Right? Romans 9:26, and it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people. Hosea chapter 1, verse 10. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people. Romans chapter 9, verse 26, the rest of it. And it shall come, beginning, and it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people. Hosea chapter 1, verse 10, the rest of it. That in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall it be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God. Romans chapter 9, verse 26. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall they be called the children, which is the sons, the children of the living God, the sons of the living God. Because you have to remember, this was translated from the Greek into the English. White people, what they do is this. guys isn't it bullshit anyway. It's man, okay? It's just madness. But by the middle of the 20th century, women began to use it, caucus females, okay? Because you will never hear Jake females say, guys, hey guys. And then you see a bunch of children, boys and girls, running up to them talking like, you know, that's not happening. Nowadays you might have it, but yeah, I'd never in existence in my life in the 90s saw a Jake woman ever. It doesn't exist. I've never seen it. It doesn't exist. Well, now it does, but I mean, when I was growing up, that's what I mean. That's the only small portion of period that I mean, right? Women began to use it too as a generic plural form for you. Bullshit. In other words, women themselves helped make guys gender neutral. That's what the caucus wants. It's just madness. So they started in the 20th century. So, and it's actually going back even further than that, because it's a Greek thing. You know, it's a Greek thing. And you know that they didn't have gender roles. You had male concubines in the Greek times, and you had male concubines in the Roman times. And in the Greek army, it was told unto the younger one, you know, if one of the higher ups, they like the guy, they like the little young child, they would tell the young boy, like, hey, listen up, don't shave your beard and don't wear perfume, because they're going to rape you. Let me see. They're going to do that. 38 men raped in U.S. military each day. And then you have since the 19th century, Australian Commission, military cadets raped as initiation. It's going back since the 1960s. Now this is just Australia and America, but you have in France, Spain, Russia, and one of the Russians, I did a video about that, one of the Russians killed the attackers, his would-be attackers, and then they locked them up. So they're down with it too. That's crazy. Anyway, they've been doing this since the Greek days. They've been doing it since the Roman days. They've been doing it throughout for thousands of years. What they do is this. I did a video about that, so I'm not going to talk about that right now. So I'll leave that. But those are the things that they are doing and stuff like that, you know. But, they're calling each other. They've been doing nonsense. But anyway, they have no gender thing. Whatever, man. But the guy said that the men would say, don't shave your beard and don't wear perfume, because they're going to touch you. You smell pretty to them. I think you smell pretty, boy. You smelling pretty, boy. You smell pretty today, boy. Yeah, that's what they're going to do to you. Verse 27, Isaiah also cried concerning Israel, though the number of the children. Okay, I don't have to read that. So this is in the book of Hosea, and this is in the book of Isaiah, right? So those Gentiles that came back into the fold, lacking inheritance, well, not of the land anymore, because we didn't have the land. That's why they asked the Lord Yahushai. They asked him, Acts chapter 1 verse 6. They asked, when they therefore were come together, they asked of Yahushua, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? Because they was under the Romans at that time. And Yahushua said unto them, it is not for you to know the times or the season which the Father had put in his own power. Anyway, so it's not for you to know. You go figure it out. Acts chapter 2 verse 5. And they were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men. So where did they come from? They were Jews, but there was not only Judah. They were Israelites being called Jews. Just like how you have Paul calling himself a Jew and then calling himself a Benjamite from Benjamin, and also calling himself a Roman, because that's a citizenship. The Jew is a globally, like, you know, Africans. how they call Africans nowadays. People in South America, people in, it doesn't matter where you're from, as long as you're so-called dark skinned, to them, you're an African. Basically, that's how they used to call the Israelites back in the day. They didn't go and sit like, so what tribe are you? Benjamin or Judah? What are you? They didn't do that. They just said, oh, just a bunch of Jews. That's it. Same thing with Midian and Ishmael. Midianites were not Ishmaelites, but they were associated to the Ishmaelites, but they're not Ishmaelites. They are of the same bloodline. I mean, Abraham is their father, so yeah. But same thing with Jacob and Esau. Same thing with Ishmael and Isaac. They got the same father, yeah. But Esau and Jacob, they got the same father and mother, and still they're not the same. So Midian is not the same as Ishmaelites. Midian is born in Genesis 25. Ishmael is born in Genesis 16. It's his bigger brother, yes, and they are associated with each other. But yeah, so in Acts chapter 2 verse 5, and there were dwelling at Jerusalem devout Jews, devout men, from where? Out of every nation under heaven. So it says Jews, from where do they come? They come from every other race. What were they doing there? The book of 2 Maccabees chapter 6 explains to you what happened to them. They got destroyed and went into the heathen nations and lived there and started to follow after their customs. So when they came back to the land of Israel, when they heard of Yahushai and where there was the others, there was just hanging around, basically also traveling, whatever. And then they heard about the Lord Yahushai, and then more of them came because they was like, oh, I want to know what's going on. And because the Spirit of the Lord was in them to compel them to come and look for the Lord. Seek the Lord while he may yet be found. And also Isaiah 65, if I'm correct, where it says, I am fond of them that seek not after me. But that's another explanation too. Because they wasn't really looking, but they was looking. You know, but yeah, I'm not going to talk about that right now because there's a lot of explanation. So going on, out of every nation under heaven. Now, when this was noised abroad, everybody heard about it. The multitude came together. They heard about it. They was like, oh, I want to know. And were confounded because that every man heard them speak in his own language, in their language where they were from. And they were all amazed and marveled, saying one to another, behold, are not all these which speak Galileans? Right, the Galileans were, let me see something here. The Sea of Galilee, here. So here you had Gilead, and here you had Galilee, where Naphtali was and stuff like that. Here, Galilee, the Sea of Galilee was here. Galilee is. And then you had here Gilead, right? And that was named after the man Gilead. Right, verse 8. And how hear we every man in our own tongue wherein we were born, the ones that are born in the foreign lands and stuff like that, also lacking inheritance, that are not born in the land of Israel. But like how the others, the ones in Jerusalem, were born in the land of Israel, but the whole land was being occupied by the Romans. They were occupied by the Romans. If I'm correct, was the Romans or the Greek? Yeah, it was the Romans. They're the same people, but I think it was the Romans, yeah, if I'm correct. So now going on, so verse 8, okay, 9, the Parthians, they lived there. Jews came out of there. And the Medes, Jews came out of, Israelites came out of there, which are Japhetic people. These are, what are these again? These are, let me see, Parthia, here. Yeah, here, the Parthian Empire, these ones that came from here, this region over here. Persia, Syrian, Margia, all those things, right? Going on. So, and Elam, the Israelites living in the midst of them, came out of there. Mesopotamia, which is that whole region that I just, well, actually, wait, this one. So it's not just Mesopotamia is not like a land where one person is from. It's actually different nations living there. Where is it? What? Where is it? Here. You had Ashur. You had Cush that was also there in the midst of him, also in Babylon. But you had, this is the land of Shem. Shemites were here, but you had Cush here too in Babylon. He came with his people. And then you can catch that here, for example. Let me see. Table. Yeah, you can catch that here. All the yellow or orange actually is Ham. And then you had Hamites here too. These are scriptural things. You can read it. You also had Shemites that was called Havilah. Then you had Cushites that was called Havilah. You had Shemites that was called Seba and Dedan. And then you had Hamites that was called Seba and Dedan, because you can catch that right here. It's very simple. Dedan, Genesis here, the sons of Cush. Then you had Dedan and Sheba, and of course Havilah. Right. And then you had the children of Abraham. Here. Then Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah, and she bare Zimra, and here 3, Jokshan. So she bare Zimra, Jokshan, and Midian. There's not Ishmaelite, but he's associated with it, just like how the Jews, I mean Benjamin, are called Jews, right? And Jokshan, which is also from Abraham, who did he get? His son was Sheba and Dedan. And then if you look up here, Genesis 10, and the sons of Cush were also Sheba and Dedan, and also Seba, the Sabians. And then you had Sheba and Dedan, which you have 2 types of Sabians actually, and the scriptures they show you that they're 2 Sabians, but they're Cushites. They're 2 different Sabians, but they're Cushites, and they're just brother and uncle. This Seba is this one's uncle, right? But anyway, it's the same people. Come on, yeah, but they are distinctively changed, named as 2 different people. I forgot the scriptures. I wrote it in my book, but I have my book here, but my book is closed, so sorry about that. Now, Mesopotamia is a whole region of people. It's not just one people that were there. This is Mesopotamia, which is the land of Shinar. Mesopotamia is a Greek word, and the land of Shinar is how it's called in the scriptures. So you had Elam in the land of Shinar. You had Cush there. You had Ashur, Assyrian. You had Aram. Aram was here, Damascus. Aram was here. You have Hamath, which is a Hamite again. You have Haran, which were the city of the brother of Abraham. It's not his city, but the brother of Abraham was there, right, in that city. And you had, Japhet. I forgot Japhet. You had Japhet, but not really in this region, but they came here too. You had the other Shemites, which was the Ishmaelites, the Arabians. They were here too. So this is basically Mesopotamia, this whole region over here. But if you want to be specific, Mesopotamia means land between the rivers. So this would be then therefore Mesopotamia, this. Because it means land between the rivers, and it is a Greek word. So it's not even real. Just like how the rainbow is now a sodomy thing, Yeah, they changed it. Yeah, because if you go before the 60s, even in the 80s, rainbows was not associated with sodomy. Now it is. Well, Mesopotamia was not even a thing until they commercially made it a thing. Okay, you had Israelites that were in Judea, yeah, Cappadocia, yeah, Pontus, Asia, because Asia is not just Chinese and Japanese. Asia is also where Japhet was, because here, Asia, who is in Asia? Elam, here. This is This is Asia. This is Asia. So who is in Asia? India, Elam. You have Japheth, Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia. What's here? What's here again? Damn it, can't see it. Nepal. Yeah, Nepal. Right. You have these places, and you have Mongolia, North Korea, Japan. This is Asia. Japheth, Moab, Ammon, Elam, and all that there. You even had certain Hamites that went over there, but that's beside the point. The point is that Asia, it's also Japheth. Okay. Phrygia, that's Iran. Or this one was Iran. No, yeah, this one, Parthians, was Iran. Sorry, this one was Iran. Let me see something here. Yeah. Persia, that's Iran. This is Iran. I forgot what this one is. In Mizraim, you had Israelites living in Mizraim, which is here, Egypt. They call this Upper Egypt, but this is just weird to me. This is Upper Egypt, this is Lower Egypt. But these Edomites are upside down, so they call this Lower Egypt, and they call this Upper Egypt, which is crazy to me. I don't know. I don't understand that shit. And in the parts of Libya about Cyrene, and strangers of Rome. So you had Jews came out of Rome too. Jews and proselytes. Cadets. Where are the cadets? Well, here, wait, sorry, here. Captorim. Here is cadets. Captorim, which is what the Hamites were. The Hamites were there. And there's scriptures. All these pictures here, the names, sorry. I have actually scriptures on them. Like, Captorim is here, is Amos 9 and 7. Are ye not as the children as the Cushites unto me, O children of Israel, saith Yahweh? Have not I brought up Israel out of the land of Mizraim, and the Philistines from Captor, and the Syrians from Kir? So who's Captor? Captor is the sons of Mizraim, Captor. Mizraim got Philistine, and then the Philistines, they left here, and then they went to Captor with their uncles. So two things were there. And then the Philistines, the Most High, caused them to go to the land of Canaan, their other brother, and then they dwelt there as the Philistines. But they're Mizraim, and Captor is also Mizraim. But there were Israelites in Captor, and you see the Captorim, and you see here, cadets. Where do you see that? You see here cadets. This was Japheth. Greece was Japheth. And then you had here cadets. No, not you had. You have. Then you have here, this thing here. This little island over here, cadets. Cadetes, I don't know how you pronounce it in English. I don't know. Cadet. And then you have Cyprus, which is Japheth. Japheth was there, and Japheth was here too. But he got moved out of there. Greece is Japheth. All this is Japheth. The Grecians are Japhetic people, right? Esau took that name. He came out of there. He came out of the Grecians because he lived in the midst of them. That's Alexander the Greek, or the Greek. But anyway, cadets. Paul took journeys to cadets. He took journeys there. He took journeys to Malta, here, and then he went into here. But anyway, so these are Japhetic people. You can read that in Genesis chapter 10. And this one is Mizraim, but you can read that in Genesis chapter 10. And then from here, the Philistines that are not Captorim, they're from Caslim, and then they went over there. But anyway, enough of this. Going on to over here, the Lord brought them from Captorim, and the Syrians from Kir. I looked, maybe I don't remember this one anymore. So, yeah, I don't remember this one anymore. You can look it up for yourself if you have the time. But the point is that you had Israelites and cadets. And you had Israelites in the middle of the Arabian deserts. And then they came to Israel. We do hear them speak in our tongue the wonderful works of Yahweh. So the point is, all these people are heathens. The lands are heathen lands, but you had Israelites coming out of them. From where? Out of every nation under heaven. So these ones were named, but the other ones that were not named, like Moab, you don't see Moab here, but Moab is also a nation that is under heaven. So therefore, they also came from those lands of Moab and from Ammon. And by the way, these are further away than Ammon and Moab, because Ammon and Moab was right there. When the Greeks had power over Galilee and also over Gilead and stuff like that, the Ammonites were right there, and the Moabites were right there. You even had Edomites that our people was living in the midst of. Even Amalek down here too. So down here actually. You know, so yeah. So that's that part. Like an inheritance, coming back to the land. And click this away. Click this away. Yeah. So these are the Gentiles that are going to be able to make it. They are candidates. They are called amongst them. These are the ones. So wait. Right, so the ones that were, again to here, Exodus chapter 12, verse 43. And Yahweh said unto Moses and Aaron, this is the ordinance of the Passover. There shall no stranger eat thereof. There shall no stranger eat thereof. So it says here, Hebrew 11:21, which means son. Hebrew 52:36. 52:36? No, incorrect. 52:36. It says here, foreigner, alien. Foreign is that which is foreign, which is talking about the word nakar, which is the actual heathen nations, right? So they are not allowed to eat of it. But here it gets interesting. So I will stop this video and then I will continue with the other part.